What's up, everybody? Today we're talking about one of the best Guild War and Guild Siege offenses in the game. Today we're talking about Copper, the Wind Living Armor. So we're going to compare him to Lucian, of course. We're going to compare him to Bulldozer because those are other units that are very similar to him in the fact that they ignore defense. We're going to take a look at some Copper teams. We're going to take a look at some of the best runed Copper and Bulldozer, and maybe some of the support units that go along with them that I can find. Currently, we are on Europe server. That's why I don't have a Copper on this account yet. We're going to also build the Copper, and we're going to test him out in some teams. Okay, let's take a quick look at Copper's skills, and let's talk about why we're even doing a Copper video in the first place today, because everyone has Copper, everyone uses Copper, everyone knows what Copper does. A lot of people know what Copper does, but really, I've go on accounts, mid-game players' accounts, every so often to do summons and other stuff, and I look at the accounts, I'm like, a lot of them don't have Copper built. They're like, yeah, we know he's good for a Nat 3, but I got all these Nat 5s, and they're building all these different Nat 5s, and I'm like, this is such a great unit. You can easily skill him up. You can even farm, like, he's got skill ups. The fire living armor is available in scenario, so he's easy to skill up, and he does really big damage for Guild War, Guild Siege. That's mainly the place that you use him. You also see him, I wasn't even in the Legends tournament in RTA. You can use him in RTA too, you can use him in Giants V10. He's just a really solid unit. Copper is the Guild War, Guild Siege equivalent to Lucian in Arena. You build Lucian to ignore defense in Arena, you build Copper to ignore defense, you build Bulldozer too to ignore defense in Guild Siege and Guild Wars, but he's one of the best because he does so much damage. So much damage. A well-runed Copper can do crazy amounts of damage. Anyway, let's take a look at his skills just really quick. I just wanted to explain like why I'm doing Copper video because I just feel like number one, I wanted to build one on this account. This is the Europe server account, by the way. And number two, I see a lot of people that aren't building, and they're like, oh, I didn't really know that he was really that good. Like, sometimes you say there's a bunch of net 3 stars that are good. It's just, he is the 3-star equivalent in Guild Wars and Guild Siege of Lucian in Arena. And I feel like he's maybe a lot underrated for a lot of mid-game players. So, skills are, first skill, Speed Break and his Stun, which is not bad. Harmful effect goes, it's a low at the beginning, but it goes up a decent amount. It's especially when you consider like the dragon first skills, the first skill doing 2 things here, even with not a crazy chance to do it, is not that bad. Second skill is a defense break, 50% chance. It's 3 turns, AoE defense break, reusable in 3 turns when skilled up. Thunderstrike is big damage. This does, it's only single target, but it does do more damage than Lucian, and it does do more damage than Bulldozer, because like that's kind of the thing. Is that like, well, why wouldn't I use Lucian? Why wouldn't I use Bulldozer? A lot of times, like especially like in Guild Wars, Guild Siege, like they try to make things anti-Lucian so that it's like stacking HP and then shield sets on top of that so that like they can withstand a blast from Lucian. But the Copper skill 3 will do more damage than Lucian's skill 3. However, it's only a single target. But you see it in Guild Wars, you see it in Guild Siege, you see it in RTA, you saw it in Legend Tournament as well, and you see it in you can use it in Giants V10 too if you want, but that's more like an early game thing. Like eventually you just have better stuff, but you can potentially use it in Giants V10 because we did on Free to Win, we did a double Copper Giants V10 team. It was like 45 seconds or something like that. It was definitely under 60 seconds. Even like before it was, yeah, before it changed to like the 4 runs, four waves instead of 5. Anyway, that's the but that's besides the point. We talked about why he's, you know, he's like the Guild War, Guild Siege equivalent to Lucian. He is very similar to Bulldozer. Some people consider Bulldozer better. Some people prefer Copper. A lot of people that use them build them both. So the difference is Bulldozer does less damage with this skill 3. Damage based on defense. Copper does damage based on defense too. Actually, it's a little bit different. Bulldozer does less damage, but Copper, even doing more damage, he has that requirement that he has to have double the defense of your opponent. So people can build potentially Copper traps so that Copper doesn't ignore the defense. So generally you see Copper built, or Copper and Bulldozer built Rage Will with defense, crit damage, defense, and just trying to stack a bunch of defense, crit damage, crit rate on there, and then just using things to fully give them attack gauge like Olivia, like Raccoony, like Immensity. Things like that. Whereas sometimes you see an anti-Copper trap Copper where he's triple defense to still be able to hit some of the Copper traps. Like people were doing Copper trap Eladriel, where he's just got a super crazy amount of defense, and you can't ignore defense on him with that. But then again, he's susceptible to be Bulldozer, right? Because then you put so much defense that you skimp on the HP. So Copper does more damage, Bulldozer does less damage, but he doesn't have a requirement of needing twice as much defense. So let me actually give you guys some information that may help you. So Copper's skill 3 is 300% attack. These are the multipliers for the skill 3. 300% attack and 300% defense. Bulldozer's skill 3 is 160% defense, but it hits twice. So the weird thing when you're looking at this, you're like, what do you mean 300 attack and 300 defense? It says does damage based on defense, but there's also the attack power factor in there. So for example, if you have runes that are defense, crit damage, defense, or like a rage, maybe we do have one. Maybe we do have like a rage slot too, where it's like, here we go. So this is actually a better Copper rune than a Bulldozer rune, because we don't even have this on anyone, right? Because it's got the attack 24 attack percentage on here. We can't even grind it or anything, but excuse me. But this is going to be a much better Copper rune than a Bulldozer rune, because Bulldozer, like the attack percentage, it really doesn't do as much for Bulldozer as it does for Copper. This is much better for Copper. He's going to do much more damage. Also, another reason I wanted to build Copper on here, I'm like, we have all these Copper runes. Let's just build a Copper. He's going to be great for Guild Wars and Guild Siege. Sometimes we like to do content on that every so often. Ooh, we should probably lock this guy. But, yeah, let's take a look at some teams with Copper and Bulldozer, and let's talk about them. Right now, we are in Guild Wars test mode, as you can see from the top left-hand corner. I just set up some different defenses. We can't even see them anyway, because we didn't build the Copper yet. But I just want to show you guys some different teams. So this team, actually, team would be make more sense going over there. That would be a Swift Domesticity. Okay, so if we're going to take a Copper Bulldozer, Copper and or Bulldozer, we want to make sure that we have some kind of activator. Any kind of defense buffer. Some are better than others in certain ways. With the Immensity, the nice thing about him is he has the crit buff too, so we don't have to have too much. Let's see how he is on this. Oh, he's not even fully max. So we don't have to have max crit rate on the Copper with Immensity. Same thing with the Fire Bounty Hunter, Randy, will also increase the crit rate. And he's got Fire Bounty Hunter has a speed lead as well. And he also has another form of Ignore Defense with skill 1. And if you get a Copper Defense Break skill 2, you can Copper Defense Break into Randy's skill 2, and does potentially a whole ton of shots. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does, but that's besides the point. I actually have 0 Randys on this account, even like 3-starred on Awakened. I don't even have any Randys, because I don't know, I guess they're just feeding them all. But that's besides the point, because it's just the Europe server alt, right? We do have him on the free to win. This is besides the point. Here is one team with him. We have the activator. Immensity is the activator in that team. This is a different team. So this one, you would likely be getting turn 2. So this is nice because she has heal here. She's got a strip here. She's got a heal here. She's got a resistance lead if you need the resistance lead. This is not a crazy skill 3 because it's only up half the time. Reasonable in 4 turns, but it's only a shield and defense buff for 2 turns. So you would want Will on everything in this team right here. Everything would need to be Rage Will. Well, obviously not the Emma would not need to be Rage Will, but she needs to be Will as well, because you're definitely taking turn 2, and you can't bring this into like someone's got a Lucian defense for example. No one really has Lucian defenses. Some people in early game have Lucian defenses, but that's besides the point. You can use this if you need a little bit, if you feel like you need a little bit more heals, like Emma's not bad. And Emma's, like sometimes you don't have, some people haven't gotten Immensity, some people haven't gotten Olivia for whatever reason. So you can use Emma, and she's got a little sustain too. You can also, if you don't even have Emma, if you're like, I don't have any of those, you could use the Water Tusky Boy, the Water Battle Mammoth as well. So here's another one. This would be this would be kind of more like for here, right? If you feel like you need to outspeed, like with the Swift Immensity, you need to outspeed. You got that 23% attack, 23% speed lead with the Swift Immensity. Give a turn with skill 3 to Copper first and nuke either the Orion or nuke the Rock Boy. Either way with that. That would be to make sure that you outspeed them, right? So this is going to be a turn 1 team. And then this is going to be a turn 2 team. So you would need, you would need Will less on this, because you're pretty much thinking you're going to take turn 1. And this one you'd really need Will on, just as an example. For this one, this is another one. You can also use, Bulldozer in this one too. The Raccoony and the Olivia skill, well, Raccoony's gonna cleanse, right? And then Olivia's gonna cleanse too with the skill 2. Raccoony's gonna cleanse passively, Olivia's gonna cleanse with the skill 2. This is Shredded Puzzle used to use this team all the time. Used to love this team. This is defense buff for 3 turns, and this is cleanse. So the skill 2s will continue to fill up the attack gauge of either Copper or Bulldozer, like whatever you want to use in here. But she's got a nice leader skill. Like the Bulldozer has a leader skill too, but it's 21%. But it will keep giving turns to your nuker, and then you will get your skill 3s off faster. And it's also nice against things that are like sometimes the Orions, sometimes the Light Paladins with the provokes, right? So it's sometimes nice to have like a lot of cleanse available as well if the enemy is going to keep debuffing you, or if they're going to like try to bring in Varad or whatever. Although Copper versus Varad, a lot of times like Copper's not going to be able to ignore defense on the Varad, because he needs to have, again, double defense of the enemy. And then the Bulldozer versus Varad, like you're taking chances there, not critting. So you can just Lucian Varad though. You can just Lucian that. Anyway, that's besides the point. That's another popular team. And then this one, this is just an even bigger, it's got some sustain, and also it has more of a defense leader skill. If you feel like you need that extra bit of defense, you can use this. You can also use the, where's the Fire Paladin? You can use the Fire Paladin as well. It's a big 44% defense buff. If you also feel like you don't have enough defense, you can stack some, you can put like 2 sets of determination on some units. Like for example, in Messity, you can put a 2 set of determination. So like swift determination if you have some good speed on determination runes. Because determination is going to give you just a little bit extra defense to all the units in the team, which is just going to make Copper and Bulldozer hit a little bit harder. And the camera died. Here we are on one of the better accounts on Europe server, Z Darlight. Let's take a look at his. He's got Copper and he's got a couple Coppers, and he's got how many Bulldozers? He's got 2 Bulldozers. He's got at least 2 Coppers. Okay, let's take a look at the runes on him. He's got 1324, so he doubled the defense on the Copper. He's got 259 crit damage, which is pretty nice though. Pretty solid. Defense here, crit damage here, 20%. I mean, there's better, but also this is one of several defense-based units that he's got Rage Will on. So he's got a few of those. This is not bad. He's got, like I said, he's got another one. So this is 100% crit rate, 229, so less crit damage, a little bit more defense. Let's take a look at this one. Again, defense, crit damage, defense. But these ancient runes, man, it's so hard to get. I mean, it's got the right stats on it, right? But it's so hard to get the grinds for it. So this is even missing some of those grinds. And some of this is not maxed, but it's Bulldozer and it's not Copper, so Copper makes more sense. So we're going to see Copper. I bet we're going to see Copper with higher attack power. Like here we only have 135 attack power plus 135. Here we have plus 234 attack power. Copper's going to have stacked attack power. Okay, so Copper's got 598 attack power. So he's going for some extra attack power there. He's got 250 crit damage. He's got more than double defense here. Defense crit damage, because he wanted to make sure that he prioritized extra defense on the Copper as opposed to the Bulldozer, because Copper needs more. Like I said, Copper needs the double defense of the enemy, and he's got a set of guard here too, just to make sure that extra, trying to squeeze out as much defense as he possibly can. So he's got defense, crit damage, defense, some pretty solid runes. He's got, look at that attack, 26% attack here. Let's take a look at the attack subs, 25% attack here. He even grinded, gemmed attack into here. And then we have nothing too insane, right? Like that wasn't even, actually that was some low rolls, if you think about it. That was some low rolls, because we got 1 roll into crit rate, there was 2 rolls into crit damage. Rip the crit damage, man. Those are low rolls into the crit damage. And then we have, this is pretty solid though. 31% defense, innate attack. Nice crit rate, and then the gem for crit damage. So that's pretty solid Copper. Like that's kind of what you want for a Copper. Then we have this one, low, much lower. Wait. Let's take a look at this one, 1660, and then we see this one. See, here's the difference here, 1660, and we see 1949 defense. So this one has extra defense, but significantly less crit damage. So this one is This one is what they're using to hit the copper traps, right? So we've got defense, defense, defense. Remember what I said? Did I say that? Or did I say that in an outtake that I didn't use? Defense, defense, defense on rage. I think I might have mentioned that. So this is going for extra defense just to make sure that they ignore the defense on the things that they need to if they're hitting something that may potentially be a copper trap. But we have significantly less crit damage, so he's going to do less overall damage, but he is going to successfully ignore defense more often than the first copper. Do we have any third copper? We do not have a third copper. Now we're done theory crafting and looking at runes. Let's go in and let's rune our copper. We should have a lot of good runes for him because what else uses copper runes? We don't have to sacrifice our Lucian runes on like Lucian and Baligur or Katarina or things like that. We just like Copper, Bulldozer, those are our rage defense-based units, so we can just put our best rage defense sets on those. We already saw that we had planned in advance to put that on that. This is not bad because it's got some crit damage, it's got some attack, it's got even... I think I was already thinking about this in advance on putting the copper on that, or that on the copper, I mean. This one's not bad either. Let's take a... You know what, let's upgrade these and let's see how they go. Runes are done rolling. Let's see how bad they came out. Okay, so we have, this one's the one that we had before, or the one that we're looking at before. This is one of the new ones that, I mean, it's got crit rate if we need crit rate. It doesn't have crit damage, but it has crit rate. So actually we have to decide if we need 100% crit rate or if we're going to be fine with 70% crit rate. If we're using Emecity's crit buff is a 30% crit buff. So if we use Emecity, then we only need 70% crit rate. So we can kind of have some flexibility and put more crit damage on it and more attack power. So we may want to use this. We may want to use this. We also may want to see what kind of grinds that we have. I'm sorry, or what kind of gems that we have. We'll put this on it for now. You know what? We'll put that on it. We'll put that on. Bagel, make up your mind. Shh, don't tell me what to do. Okay, so we'll take a look at crit damage. Excuse me. So we have basically nothing here. So we'll go for Will. We'll see what we have on Will. Speed's not bad. I hate the rest of the stats on that, but speed's not bad on that. This one could be usable. So this one we would gem out the accuracy to... If it's for copper, we would gem out the accuracy to attack power. This one is a whole lot of... No. Wow, that one was a... Oh, that was only a hero. Then we have this one rolled all accuracy, which is not what we wanted. I mean, we wanted like attack power, right? This one is what we do. We have defense, we have attack percentage. This one is just no. And then this one is just not. So, okay. I think this is going to be our best option. And then we'll just do the attack percentage there. So we'll go back to rage and we'll see what we have on here. So here's one of the things for slot 1. We can't get defense on slot 1. So we're looking for a lot of attack power, crit damage. We don't see any crit damage here. Let's see what we have. Yeah, we have, this is potential. There's crit damage, there's attack power there. There's no crit rate though. We do not have high crit rate. We've got crit damage there. We've got attack crit rate there. We're looking for crit damage. Yuck. It's got such bad roll. Oh my god. Minimum rolls. Minimum rolls. Terrible. So we've got some crit damage there. We have some crit damage there. Okay. Speed crit damage. You know what? That's not bad. Let's power this up. Let's come back to it. Let's see. Let's tinker around, and we'll see what we end up with. Okay, so we got him on Rage Will, and we got him up to 232 crit damage, which is not bad considering this is just the Europe server alt. And if you guys don't see a tremendous problem right now, look again. You tell me what the problem is. Oh wait, it's the crit rate. With 46% crit rate, we can't do anything with that crit rate. So we're going to have to go through and we're going to have to take some damage off of him to get his crit rate higher because we cannot go through and say, we have half a chance, like flip a coin, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. It's better to just go for a little bit less damage. It's not as exciting to see as big of numbers, but is it about getting the coolest big numbers? or is it about getting the job done, actually killing the thing and critting instead of failing and not critting? So we're going to have to make sure that we get some higher crit rate on. Let's see what we can do. We had to tweak some things. We had to take some damage off in order to get the crit rate up higher. It's at 69%, but we can take this accuracy. If we get a crit rate gem, we can take that to up to 9% with a legend. So potentially can even be 78% crit rate, which is not bad. We would still need a crit power. We need a crit buff of either Randy or Immensity, or we could just take our chances with the 78%, which is not bad, especially if we try to hit something that we have element advantage over. But I mean, it's usable like this. So one of the nice things about Copper is Copper and Bulldozer, there's not that many units that require defense-based rage runes. So Copper and Bulldozer would be the two most popular ones. So it's kind of easy, not kind of easy, you still have to get the runes, but it's a little bit easier. And we're still missing a lot of grinds on a lot of this stuff, actually. I think we'd have, like, no... For whatever reason, because it's the alt, right? So we have a lot of room for improvement. This is what we had to change for that 21% extra crit rate. But we still have room for improvement. We can still even make him more DPS if we max all the runes and get the grinds, of course. So let's take him up to 6 stars and let's see what he can do. I'm literally sitting here in front of the camera. Everything's on, everything's plugged in. I'm getting ready to do the last part of the video. We summoned, hey! I was like, hey, maybe we'll get some copper food, right? Because he's still not finished being skilled up the last one. It's been 5 years. I don't know when I'm gonna learn to just keep recording everything. Just in case. Just record everything just in case. GG. Well, now we can try the Chandra D, but now we have another 6-star to make. Alright, we are done 6-starring the Copper. We're not quite finished building him yet, though, because he still needs more grinds. He still needs a gem for the crit rate, which we saw. And he still needs... Oh, he still needs some skill ups, too. I mean, we got a couple skill ups into him, but he still needs a lot more skill ups. We need more damage. We need another cooldown turn reduction on here. These I'm less concerned about, but the Thunder Strike damage is kind of important. And also the cooldown... Cool time. Okay, anyway. We've got one grind missing there. We need a crit rate grind. We've got one grind, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the crit rate. Yeah, so we've got quite a decent amount of stuff that we can still improve on him. Plus guild shop flags, plus arena towers. Arena towers, by the way, are for everywhere, not just for the arena, just in case you guys were maybe under the impression, because sometimes people are under the impression that it's just for arena, but the arena towers are for everywhere. And I'm not sure what the guild war, the guild upgrades are, as far as, because sometimes the guild upgrades do more damage with those too. But let's take him in and let's see how much damage he can do like this, even with his mediocre build, missing grinds, missing a skill up on skill 3, and then of course the flags and the towers. Let's see what he's capable of like this. Again, we're here in the test, so we're going to not really do anything for the first team. We'll just do whatever. It doesn't matter. For the second team, we're going to take... You know what? Let's take this. Let's see what it's capable of. Yeah. So we're just in test mode right now, though. And we're just going to concede this because it doesn't matter. And we'll do... let's see how much damage... So he's got, with this crit rate buff, he had 69 before, giggity, and now he's got 99 crit rate. So he should be able to crit... So he actually does crit. Let's see if we can kill the Eladriel. I don't think we're going to be able to kill the Eladriel, though. But let's see. And we've got the sustain. Remember the sustain, that's even missing stuff. So 53k, or 52k, without, can we beat this? Let's do one of these. He's not fully maxed. This Volantis is going to be annoying, isn't he? Volantis is fast and on despair and tanky. This Volantis is gonna be... Oh my god, this Volantis. See, this is why I love this unit, though. This is why I love this unit. Everyone's like, Light Druid, what am I gonna do with him? I'm like, Light Druid is pretty dope, guys. Don't sleep on the Light Druid. Light Druid, pretty dope. Really annoying. Really annoying. This is a perfect opportunity to try the Olivia and what's his face? Oh, good old Olivia and what's his face? Olivia and Raccoon team though. Look at the stun rate. Look at the stun rate on this guy. I don't think we're gonna be able to ignore defense on the. If we have a defense break on him, we will be able to ignore the defense. But it's an Artemil, so really it's hard to ignore defense on Artemil. Defense break. Nice. I don't even know when we're even gonna get a chance to use. Because it is so many cooldowns. Yeah. Let's do actually we're not gonna have that ready, are we? Should we have waited? I think we maybe should have waited. No, actually we researched him. Yeah, unfortunately. Jeez, this Artemil. Seriously. Holy crap. Artemil, come on, man. Trying to show how awesome Copper is. Artemil, chill out. Jeez, solo everything, Artemil. Thank you. I see, the only reason I don't mind is because it's my Artemil, so if he's going to solo everything. Oh, good, we got Marching Shot again. So now we're going to be able to ignore defense, but just because he's got a defense break on him. So. Alright guys, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Just wanted to show a brief Copper spotlight, how to show some of the runes of some of the better Copper and Bulldozers that there are. This is, honestly, is like more of a mediocre Copper, because there are, I mean, 50,000 damage ignore defense for mediocre Copper is not, you know, it's kind of fun. He's a really, really solid unit, and the best, like the better Coppers out there can do like 70,000 plus damage. So this, in comparison, is really not anything special. There's a lot of people out there that have Coppers that are doing like 60, 70 plus thousand damage, which is pretty crazy. I mean, they have max towers, they have max flags, and they have like a lot of stuff really efficiently grinded, and like a lot of really nice stats on the runes, as we saw in the beginning too, right? But anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one.